Hello everyone, welcome to my video lecture series on ARM microcontrollers and embedded systems. Today we will explain about an embedded system components. It's a module 3 of an embedded systems. The learning outcome of this section will be the students will be able to demonstrate fundamentals of embedded systems. They can think of implement embedded system with hardware components. They can employ key components of embedded system like sensors and actuators. Outline. We will go through what is an embedded system and the embedded system versus a general computing systems, a history of embedded systems, next classification of embedded system, major application areas of embedded system, and a purpose of an embedded system. First, let us know what actually the embedded system is. So, as defined, an embedded system is an electronic or electromechanical system that is designed to perform a specific task or a specific function, and it is a combination of hardware and software, that is a firmware. We call it as a firmware. So basically it is used to perform a single task or a specific task at a given time. The hardware combined with unique components, and the firmware is specialized to application domain. So as per the application requirement, the firmware is developed. So it is an important part of any product in the field of consumer products, household appliances, telecommunications field, medical equipments, and industrial controls. So in every area, the embedded system is applied. So for an examples in the below figure, we can see that the embedded system is used in industrial robotics, GPS receivers. The digital camera is also an embedded system. DVD players, wireless routers, photocopiers or game consoles, or so many other devices, other systems. So next, we will go through embedded system versus a general computing system. So what actually the difference between a general purpose and a specific system. So here the difference between these two are divided into some of the criterias. Like first one, we will see about the contents, that is the hardware of a system. In the general purpose computing system, the contents are a generic hardware. It's a combination of a generic hardware and a general purpose operating system is used in this general purpose computing system. It is used for executing a variety of applications. The same contents in the embedded systems, that a system which is a combination of special purpose hardware and an embedded operating system is used for executing a specific set of applications rather than a general purpose applications. In the second criteria, we will discuss on operating system. So here the general purpose computing system consists of a general operating system. whereas an embedded system may contain or it may not contain any of the operating system for its functioning. So it is not totally depending on the operating system. Alterations. The third criteria is alterations. So here the applications are alterable. In the general computing system, the applications are alterable or programmable, reprogrammable by the user end. So it is possible for the end user to reinstall the operating system and also add or remove user applications. But whereas in embedded system, the firmware of the embedded system is pre-programmed and it is not alterable by the end user. So before implementation of the system, the operating system or any embedded system is pre-programmed. The fourth criteria is key factors. So in general computing system, the performance is the main key deciding factor in the selection of the system. So based upon the performance, the general computing system is selected, and it's a faster. So that is, if you select a faster computing system, it is better. Whereas in embedded systems, the application specific requirements, that is like the performance, the power requirements, the memory usage and hardware, etc., are key deciding factors. So based upon the content of the embedded system, that is a key deciding factors. The next criteria is power consumption, where a general computing system consumes a more power than the embedded system. The next criteria is response time. So in general computing system, a response time may not be critical. That is, if any application started executing and if it is not completed within a time, then there is no harm to any of the system. So it is not a time critical. But whereas in an embedded system, it is a critical for some applications. So any program or any application is started to be executed, it should be completed in a specified time limit or deadlines. So it is having a critical for some applications. The next criteria is execution. So here the general computing system need not to be a deterministic, whereas an embedded system deterministic for certain types of embedded systems like hard real-time systems. So deterministic is based upon the behavior of the system. Let us go through a history of embedded systems. In the older days, the embedded systems were built around a vacuum tubes and transistor technologies with low-level languages. As in the beginning, during 1958, the first IC was built around, but which was not used for a programmable. So here, the embedded systems were built around vacuum tubes. Second point, the advanced semiconductor technology gave way to development of embedded systems. Nowadays, it is fully developed. The first embedded system was developed for US military. So it was Autonetics Guidance Computer. The first embedded system was Autonetics Guidance Computer for a Minuteman I missile, which is based on discrete transistor logic and used by US military. So this Autonetics Guidance Computer is considered as the first embedded system for US military. And after this, the Apollo Guidance Computer is also another embedded system. So Apollo Guidance Computer is considered to be the first embedded system for lunar expedition used by NASA. So in the space applications, Apollo Guidance Computer is considered to be the first embedded system. The AGC is used to guide this computer, this embedded system is used to guide the CM, Command Module, and Lunar Excursion Module. These are the two modules which are used in a satellite. So the command module encircles the moon, while the lunar excursion module designed to go down on moon surface. So these two modules are basically used for in a satellite for reading the moon environment. So the sixth point is, it was based on this AGC, Apollo Guidance Computer was based on 4 kilowords of ROM and 256 words of RAM. Around 1963, the memory reached, that is the same 4K and 256 words were developed, and the memory reached 10 kilowords of ROM and 1 kilowords of RAM. And again it is been developed and finally configured for 36K ROM and 2 kilowords of RAM with 2.048 megahertz clock frequency. The ALU of this AGC consists 11 instructions and 16-bit word logic. Around 5,000 ICs with the RTL logic supplied by a Fairchild Semiconductors. So the user interface unit known as DSKY, display and keyboard, looked like a calculator type keypad with array of numerals. Here we'll go for a classification of embedded systems. Here, classification of embedded system based on some criteria. They are based on generation, based upon complexity and performance, based on deterministic behavior, and based on triggering. The first generation, we'll go through each criteria here. First one, based on generation. So this based on generation is divided into 4. The first generation, second generation, third generation, and fourth generation. The first generation, the early embedded systems were built around 8-bit microprocessors like 8085 or Xilinx Z80 or a 4-bit microcontrollers. These were simple in hardware circuits with a firmware developed in assembly code. So for an example, a digital telephone keypads or a stepper motor control units. These are some examples based upon a first generation, that is based upon 8-bit microprocessor or 4-bit microcontrollers with an assembly language programming. In the second generation, there are embedded systems built around 16-bit microprocessors and 8-bit or 16-bit microcontrollers that was following the first generation embedded systems only. So the instruction set for this second generation were much complex and also powerful than the first generation. So here, for example, based upon second generation, the data acquisition system and a SCADA system used in based upon second generation embedded systems. The third generation embedded systems are based upon a 32-bit microprocessor or a 16-bit microcontroller. Then DSPs were involved in this, digital signal processors, as well as application specific integrated circuits, ASIC, are also involved with this. So in here it was developed with pipeline technology and involvement of more powerful instruction set. For example, Intel Pentium processors were used in a third generation embedded systems. A Motorola M68K with embedded operating system involved and applied in robotics, media, industrial process control, networking, and etc. applications. The fourth generation is the advent of SoCs, that is system on chip or reconfigurable and multi-core processors. These are bringing a very high speed, high performance with a real-time embedded operating system. So for example, a smartphone devices, mobile internet devices, and many more. Next we will go through based upon complexity and performance. So here it is been divided into a small scale embedded system, a medium scale embedded system, and a large scale embedded systems. So a small scale embedded systems which are simple in applications, application needs, and where the performance requirements are not time critical or very low. So an electronic toy is an example for this, which was built on the 8-bit or 16-bit microprocessor or a microcontroller, and this was not having any operating system on it. The medium scale embedded systems. Here the embedded systems which are slightly complex in hardware and firmware. So the embedded systems are usually built around medium performance with a low cost 16-bit or 32-bit microprocessor or controller or any DSP. That is the second generation and third generation processors are used in medium scale embedded systems. So they usually contain an embedded operating systems for functioning. Then the large scale embedded systems. Here these are highly complex hardware and firmware requirements, time critical applications. These are based upon 32-bit or 64-bit RISC processors, and the fourth generation processors are used here. These processors or controllers contains a real-time operating system or a task management for high performance operations. Next, the criteria is on based upon deterministic behavior. So the classification based on deterministic system behavior is applicable for real-time systems. So the application or any task execution behavior for an embedded system can be either deterministic or non-deterministic. So based upon this execution behavior, the real-time embedded systems are classified into hard and soft, hard real-time and soft real-time. That is based upon a critical time execution and deadline concepts. For example, a hard real-time is having a deadline concept and critical time execution, whereas in a soft real-time, if a critical time or deadline met by the execution program, then also there are no harms to the system. The next one is based upon a triggering. So the embedded systems are reactive in nature. So like process control systems in industrial control applications, they can be classified on the triggering of the embedded system. So there are two types. One is event triggered embedded system and time triggered embedded systems. Next, we will go through a major application areas of an embedded system. So here we can go through a consumer electronics. The embedded systems are developed in consumer as a consumer electronics. So for an example, camcorders or cameras are an embedded system area. A digital cameras are an embedded systems. Household appliances like television, DVD players, washing machine, fridge, microwave oven, etc. are household appliances where the embedded system can be employed. Like for an example, in the digital cameras, collection of the picture, storing of the picture, and reproducing the same pictures. Like a television in household appliances, television is a smart TV where internet connectivity, Bluetooth connectivity can be connected, or even an Ethernet connection is also given to a television. So like DVD players, washing machines, automatic washing machines, top load and front load, fridge, and microwave ovens. Home automation and security systems like air conditioners, sprinklers, intruder detection alarms, closed circuit television cameras like IP cameras, or fire alarms. In all these areas, the embedded systems can be employed. Automotive industries like ABS is also an embedded system, and the ABS, that is anti-lock braking system. In the engine control and ignition systems, automatic navigation system is also an embedded system. Telecom sector, where a cellular telephone switches, handset multimedia applications, all these are falls under a telecom applications. Like a computer peripherals like printers, scanners, fax machines. Then a computer networking systems, network routers, switches, hubs, firewalls, modems, etc. A healthcare section, that is a different kinds of scanners like EEG, ECG machines, etc. Heart rate monitoring is also one of the embedded system. Then measurement and instrumentations like digital multimeters are the area of embedded system. Digital CROs are the area of embedded systems. Logic analyzers, PLC systems, etc. Banking and retail like ATM is also an embedded system, and currency counters, point of sale machines, POS machines are also falls under embedded systems. The card readers like barcode reader or smart card readers, handheld devices, all falls under an embedded system. Next, we will go through a purpose of embedded system. So what are the purpose? Why the embedded system is required? A classification of embedded systems based on some criteria are here: data collection, the purpose, data collection, storage and representation, data communication, data processing, that is a signal processing, monitoring, control, and application specific user interface. So how we'll go one by one. The data collection, storage and representation. So for this the example is a digital camera. So data collection is nothing but acquisition of data from external world. So camera captures the pictures from the external world. Storing of collected data for manipulation. The camera, after capturing a photo or a picture, that will be converted into a digital data and it will be stored into a memory. Representation, producing a manipulated data as per requirements. So the camera, a digital camera, can display a stored image on the camera displayer only. The second one is data communication. So data communication system, from satellite system to home networking system. That is collection of data and transferred to remote locations through wired or wireless communication. Say for an example, home networking systems or a satellite system where we can connect our system to the internet and the data can be communicated over a wired or wireless media. A collection of data and transferred to remote locations through wired or wireless. Data processing or signal processing. For this also we require an embedded system. The data like a voice or image or video, electrical signals and other measurable quantities collected by an embedded system may be used for various kinds of data processing. The embedded system with signal processing functionalities are employed in applications demanding signal processings like speech coding, synthesis, audio video codec, transmission applications, etc. So a digital hearing aid is a typical example for an embedded system that employs a data processing. So digital hearing aid improves hearing capacity of hearing impaired person. Then monitoring. Almost all embedded products coming under the medical domain are with the monitoring functions only. They are basically used for determining the state of some variables using input sensors. They cannot impose control over variables. So an example for monitoring is ECG, electrocardiogram machine. So this monitors a heartbeat of a patient, and the machine is intended for monitoring the heartbeat of a patient but cannot impose control over the heartbeat. The sensors are used in ECG are the different electrodes connected to the patient's bodies. The other example for this is measuring instruments like digital CRO or digital multimeters, logic analyzers, etc. These are used in control and instrumentation applications. They are used for knowing the status of some variables like current, voltage, etc. Fifth one is control. So the purpose is to control. Like the functionalities of embedded systems are variable according to change in input signals through sensors. So always according to the input signal is not constant. It is always variable. It keeps on changing the input signal through a sensors. So the embedded systems takes the input from these sensors, which the input signals are not continuously same or constant. The actuators are connected to output port in such a way to control a variables as required by the functionalities of process. Say for an example, the air conditioners, AC. The input variable is current room temperature sensed by a temperature sensor. So there will be a temperature sensor inside a AC, which is always sensing the temperature, room temperature, and the room temperature will not be a constant. The handheld device or remote from user end sets one value to operate to the compressor, to the AC, wherein the compressor and according to that input from the remote, the compressor flows a cool air. Even though if there is a change in the input sensors, input values, the compressor is going to give a limited cool air. So that is a control system. Next, application specific user interface. So some of the user interfaces are required here, like buttons, switches, keypads, lights, speakers, and display units, etc. are application specific user interface units. So for an example, a mobile where it consists of a graphical LCD module, basically it is required. Speakers are required, a vibrator unit, a keypad will be there, and there will be a torch also. So many other units are built up with the mobile phones. All these units are going to give an interface operation with the system by the user to the user. So that is up to this video lecture. We will go for newer topics in further video lectures. Thank you.